evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and in tonight's top stories, violence once again rings out in Grove Place on St. Croix. News Channel 8's Wes Small reports.
Violence has rang out again in the State Grove. I'm here across the street from the Lorraine Village, and let me tell you what happened. This coming from Melody Rames, VIPD spokesperson, and Police Chief Oakland Benta. It was 9:30 at night on Friday when shots were fired up in this area, Mutual Homes. That area that I consider hostile territory. We will not go in that area. This is about the boundary. That's when the shots were first fired. Then, just like a scene out of The Godfather or Scarface, this entire area here in Lorraine Village rang out with automatic weapons. Left dead in the carnage was 19-year-old George Ronald Simpson, and he used to live in Strawberry. Simpson was found dead lying between buildings 4 and 5. That's across the street from me in Lorraine Village. He was shot in his face and the left side of his body. Witnesses tried to revive him at the scene, but he was dead by the time officials got to the scene, like the EMTs. 5 other men were wounded as well in this shooting. One 13-year-old boy was shot in his left leg. What he was doing out at 9:30, I have no idea. 21-year-old was shot in his upper left thigh. 23-year-old was shot in his hip. Another 23-year-old was shot in his right upper leg, and a 26-year-old was shot in his left leg. Arrested now is 24-year-old Adrian Benjamin from Mutual Homes in that area where the shots first rang out. Charges: first-degree murder, reckless endangerment. No bail was set as yet. Now, if you know anything about this case, then you should call 778-2211 or 911, or you could call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-TIPS. For now, that's all we have. We'll try to get to officials later on today. Again, violence ringing out in the area where one man, 19 years old, was found dead here across the street in Lorraine Village. In Grove, I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And in other news, the Catherine's Rest suspects spend another day in court. News Channel 8's Wes Small was there.
Here we are at federal court, and it's the Catherine's Rest guys, the suspects from the Catherine's Rest ordeal, I should put it, have just got finished with another evidentiary hearing. And sometimes I don't get all the terminology right, so you have to excuse me. Sometimes this reporter gets there late. I happen to be like the only media in there. It was kind of a scarcely populated courtroom. It started at 9 o'clock this morning. Amon Thomas, Nathaniel Thomas, and Okemo Milligan. Now, I'd like to take you back to the shootout that happened at Catherine's Rest months ago, that days before the Juan Louis Hospital execution of Shadrach Fred. Now, just about everyone who is everyone is kind of linking these Catherine's Rest suspects to the hospital killing. But remember that the Catherine's Rest suspects are not charged with that hospital execution. So we want to keep you in mind of that so far this has happened to be a drug and weapons trial. Representing the defense is high-profile defense attorney Jeffrey Moorhead, along with Michael Joseph. And also representing the Virgin Island government is former Judge Alfonso Andrews. And I have to tell you that Andrea Soto, remember that it was Miss Soto that was arrested along with the other 3 men. I have not seen her in court since this ordeal has started, and I've been here several times. All right, and dressed in drab olive colored jumpers was the defendants, Milligan and Nathaniel Thomas and Amon Thomas. They all wore dreadlocks, and they all seemed to be pretty calm as they gave a couple of signs to some of their friends and relatives that did happen to be in the courtroom. Like I said, though, it wasn't that many people in the court. They were heavily guarded by U.S. Marshals, I could tell you that. And Judge Cannon left this hearing with, like many hearings, I'll take this into advisement. It's pretty simple. The defense trying to get a lot of evidence thrown out possibly added in to be on their side, and then the prosecution, well, they're doing what they have to do. If it was up to the defense, of course this whole thing would be thrown out, and if it was up to the prosecution, I'm sure they would just love to link these suspects to the hospital execution. Again, this is just my view on this, and this is just my perception. So right now we'll have to wait for Judge Cannon's decision as he takes this hearing into advisement. News Channel 8 is all over this case from beginning to end. Here we are at federal court. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And we have more news after the break. Stay with us on News Channel 8.